السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم تقبل منا صيامنا وصلاتنا وقيامنا. اللهم وفقنا للعمل الصالح الذي يرضيك. اللهم افتح مسامع قلوبنا لذكرك واجمع قلوبنا على محبتك وطاعتك. Ya Allah, please open the hearing channels of our hearts to that which reminds us of you, and bring our hearts together and collect our hearts together upon that which you love and upon your obedience. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. As we have said before, with قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة, and that khilafah, as we have pointed out, is representing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at our human level through our characteristics, through our attributes, through our moral imperatives, through our moral images inside of us. رحيم كريم صبور ودود عفو غفور. These are the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal in the infinite sense of their beauty and their majesty. We, in order to be the khulafa of Allah on earth, we are to embody those attributes at our best possible human level. And we said, there's no beginning of assuming the responsibility of khilafah, and therefore of fulfilling ubudiyyah to Allah Azza wa Jal, if there is no tawbah. The first maqam, the first station, the first step into that khilafah is at-tawbah, repentance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when the gates inside of our hearts of tawbah are wide open through a very strong burst inside of us of remorse and regret and pain for what we have missed and done wrong before, and a burst of longing and desire for what comes next and is possible in our relationships with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When there is that burst inside of us of longing and of pain and regret and sorrow and remorse, that's tawbah. And we need to renew tawbah constantly, and tawbah is at many levels. Then, we have been talking about certain things we need to do. I'm going to mention tonight one or two things, inshallah ta'ala. And that is with tawbah and along with tawbah, and in the envelope of tawbah, perhaps we must know and realize, most importantly, that we need to know. We need to know and act upon that which we must know. We need to know God subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, is not loved with ignorance and foolishness. Allah Azza wa Jal is the source of knowledge. We cannot assume to draw nearer to Allah and to assume the khilafah for Allah, and we are juhala, and we are ignorant, and we are fools. قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم, as Allah says in the ayah, and as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in the hadith. Knowledge is necessary, a regular diet of knowledge, to know therefore what this khilafah means, and what are the elements of this khilafah, and the requirements of this khilafah, and how I will conduct myself in order to live in a way that is beloved to Allah, and therefore leads me to assume my responsibility for which I was created. Al-ilm, not al-jahl. Al-ilm. They are not equal, those who know and those who do not know. And a regular diet of ilm, a regular diet of beneficial ilm, beneficial knowledge. There is junk knowledge, and there is beneficial knowledge. Just like there is junk food and beneficial food. We need food physically, but there is junk food and there is good food. We need knowledge spiritually. We need knowledge in our quest for the divine. But there is junk knowledge and there is beneficial knowledge. That's why Rasulullah Mawlana Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam teaches us to seek refuge in Allah from some knowledge. Not all knowledge as well. From some knowledge. That knowledge which does not benefit me in my relationship with Allah, to assume my responsibility in this world, and that when I leave this world, I will be, بِإِذْنِهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ, in the company of the Divine Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That's why he says, وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ اللَّهُمَّ إِنِّي أَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنَ الْأَرْبَعِ. And the first one he begins with, مِنْ عِلْمِ اللَّا يَنْفَعُ. I seek refuge in you from 4 things. The first one he mentions, knowledge that is useless, not beneficial or harmful. Knowledge that is harmful. And then with knowledge of what I need to know. That knowledge is not intended for itself. We are not intended to be knowledgeable people for the sake of knowing. Shaitan knows a lot. Shaitan knows a lot. He has necessary knowledge. But what was he missing? Amal. With ikhlas. What he was missing is to act upon that knowledge with sincerity, with ikhlas, with devotion, with purity. Knowledge is necessary, but never sufficient. Knowledge is intended to be practiced, to be lived, to be actualized. Some of us, we want to learn for the sake of learning, or for the sake of celebrity status, or for the sake of fame, or for the sake of dunya. And Rasulullah Mawlana Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam speaks to us about those who do it in that way, and he says, literally and unequivocally, their abode is hell. من طلب العلم ليماري به العلماء أو ليباهي به العلماء أو يماري به السفهاء أو يصرف وجوه الناس إليه أدخله الله النار. That's that clear. Ilm is intended to be practiced. I learn to internalize and to practice what I know. That beneficial knowledge. Now, with that in mind, as it would take, of course, a lot more, mashallah, sessions together in order to cover a bit of what we need to cover about these important factors like knowledge and like tawbah and amal. And then with that, to learn to practice, to be a practitioner, not to learn to be a scholar. That's what most of us think it should be. We don't learn to be scholars. If we become scholars, and if it is scholars that Allah loves, alhamdulillah. But we don't learn to be scholars, ya ibadallah. We don't learn to be scholars. We learn to do what? To practice what we know. To practice what we know. لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Allah says to us, why do you do that? Why do you say that which you do not act upon? It is intended to be practiced. And with that in mind, of the first things we need to learn and to keep in front of us as objectives to practice and as objectives to improve on through tawbah and through knowledge and amal are 2 basic attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal that we need to embody in ourselves at our best human possible level. What do you think those attributes are? The most important ones. Allah has 100 attributes that are mentioned, 99, and those that we do not know, a lot more. Of those 99 attributes that you know, which do you think I mean here? Ahsan, that's one. Ar-Rahmah. 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 Merciful love. Loving mercy. Wombly, motherly love. Ar-Rahmah comes from Ar-Rahim. Or Ar-Rahim comes from Ar-Rahmah. The womb of a mother in the Arabic Quranic language is called Ar-Rahim. It's a word that Allah created, and He subhanahu wa ta'ala created that word for the womb of the mother, as He Himself said in Hadith Qudsi, which He derived from His attributes of Rahmah. Ar-Rahim of a mother, and Ar-Rahman. The first, most fundamental attribute of our deen. As you know, if you don't know, listen to this. Allah in the Quran, as He describes Himself to us as far as His relationship goes with all creation. In other words, which attributes He manifests the most in dealing and governing and managing and providing and sustaining His creation. He says the attribute that He subhanahu wa ta'ala uses for all of that is Ar-Rahmah. Ar-Rahmanu ala al-arsh istawa. Ar-Rahman is established upon the throne. He has 99 attributes and a lot more, of course. Why did He use Ar-Rahman ala al-arsh istawa? When kings establish themselves on the throne and they describe themselves, they say, the king, the sovereign, the powerful. The is established on His throne. Allah Azza wa Jal says, my Rahmah is established on this throne. I deal with all the creation. Throne signifies the position from which the sovereign deals with creation. And sovereign describes themselves as dealing with their subjects on the basis of power. And. But He says Ar-Rahman. He didn't say Al-Malik. He didn't say Al-Jabbar. He didn't say Al-Aziz. He didn't say Al-Qawi. He didn't say Al-Mateen. And He's all of those. He didn't say even Al-Adl, the just. He said to us Ar-Rahman ala al-arsh istawa. To draw my attention and yours that the most fundamental, essential attribute for this creation is Rahmah. And therefore that you exemplify Rahmah in your responsibility of Khilafah on this earth. That's why He describes His most beloved of creatures. His most beloved of creatures. The creature who best represents Allah Azza wa Jal. And that is Sayyiduna wa Mawlana, Habibullah Muhammadun sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Allah describes Him, as you know, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. You were sent. We have sent you no more than Rahmah, loving mercy or merciful love to the worlds in plural. The human, the jinns, the animals, the plants, the ants, the birds, the fish, the inanimate, the animate worlds. Rahmah. Rahmah precedes everything else. وَرَحْمَتِي وَسِعَتْ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ, as says He subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Sayyiduna Mawlana sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, إِنَّمَا أَنَا رَحْمَةٌ مُهْدَاةٌ. I am verily but a gift that is from Allah of Rahmah to you, to the worlds. And therefore He tells you and me, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, لا تنزع الرحمة إلا من شقي. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Rahmah is stripped or removed only from a miserable one. A man, no matter how intelligent, or a woman they think, or we think of them, no matter how much they think of themselves, or we think of them as ethical or moral or spiritual, and if they lack rahmah, if they are rude, if they are ruthless, if they are unkind, uncompassionate, merciless, they never shed a tear of compassion for others, let alone for themselves, then they are nothing. Then they are nothing. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. لا تنزع الرحمة إلا من شقي. Then they are miserable ones. Rahmah is removed only from the one who is miserable, shaqi. In other words, his outcome with Allah is perdition and will perish. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Secondly, in the context of that first, the attribute that I and you, as we have decided to assume the responsibility of khilafah, after tawbah and a regular diet of ilm, and striving to practice that ilm, emphasize rahmah, and second, adl, and fairness and justice. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان لقد أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب ليقوم الناس بالقسط ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى, and so on. الظلم ظلمات يوم القيامة. All these texts, the Quranic text and the Hadithi texts, again emphasize in the context of what was said, al-adl, justice and fairness. And justice without rahmah is lame or blind. Justice without rahmah, adl without rahmah, is lame. Like a person who can't walk straight. Handicap. And if there is no justice, one will not be able to practice generally rahmah. If you will, justice is a subset of rahmah. Justice is a subset of rahmah. Rahmah is more inclusive. These two attributes, I remind myself and of you tonight in the context of إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. Implore Allah to grant us rahmah, to give our qulub rahmah, to make us ruhama, to make us of those who show and are compassionate and merciful and loving towards one another and towards our neighbors and towards all creatures, including the ants and the birds and the dogs and the cats. And if we're not even compassionate to a dog or a cat, rest assured, those of us who are like that have the potential to be injurious and harmful and treacherous against a human being. May Allah Azza wa Jal forgive us. May Allah guard us. Allahumma ij'alna ruhama warhamna warham bina. Allahumma ij'alna ruhama warhamna warham bina. Allahumma ij'alna min ahli al-adl wal-ihsan ومن أهل تحقيق العبودية لك على وجه الأرض وتحقيق الخلافة التي أردتها منا على وجه هذه الأرض بجودك وكرمك يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.